and welcome to More Designs. Today I'm going to attempt to do a circle pour using the basic techniques of fluid art. My aim is to try and do a geode style with the colours there that I have in acrylics. So I'll talk you through what I'm going to be doing step by step. First and foremost, what you need is your materials. So today I'm going to be practicing on a piece of white card. This is just going to enable me to just see how the composition is of the colours and to see if I can actually do the pour. You also need your colours, so you have various different types of acrylic. For example, you have metallics, which is something that I like to use, and this is from the PBO studio, which I got from Hobbycraft. Also, I have the Hobbycraft brand, so I'm quite interested to see how that pans out because it's a cheaper alternative than using the graduate and studio acrylic that you can get, which is this. This is a Dela and Runny brand, again from Hobbycraft, but you can also get from other craft stores throughout the UK and on eBay if needed. So I've decided to go with a gold type theme. I wanted to incorporate some white, so I have a pearl white, a iridescent gold, copper and silver metallic. All of those are metallic apart from the pearl. And then I'm going with the matte acrylic essential. Basically, this is a brilliant product, and you can get it in bulk for around £20 for a 2 litre bottle. Right then, so what I've done is I've already pre-prepared my mixes, which consists of water and my acrylic paint, and also a little bit of PVA glue is my medium. Now, many people prefer to purchase the expensive mediums, Floetrol, Liquitex and stuff like that, but I like to keep it simple and as cost effective as possible, because it does cost a lot for the paints alone. So what I've done is I've made my paint there, and I've ensured that I've mixed it very slowly together, adding the water in bit by bit, and the consistency needs to be similar to what you would say would be a double cream or a single cream, and that's to enable it to flow. Okay, so it's going to be quite fascinating to see how this pans out, if I can get it to do what I would like it to do. Right, before we get started then, as I explained, we have our materials, we've got everything that we need here. I'm just going to use something to prop this up, and it needs to be stable. Now that's not going to be good enough, so if anything I might just leave it on there and have a flat surface. So I'm going to pop on my FFP3 FFP4 face mask. This is highly important because we're working with toxins and chemicals. And then just some gloves, which you could just pick up cheap. So just pop them on. Any kind of gloves, just something that you can easily move in and that is waterproof. Right then. So what people normally do is when they use their canvas, they base it with a prime back colour. So I like to use white. So I'll probably just pour a little bit of this on here to help with the flow. And rub that in there. It don't really matter how. It's just to get the flow going. Okay, so now I've done that, Now I'm going to start with the pour. So let's start with the pearl, and I'm going to go silent now, because the whole part of doing a pour is to allow for you to be free and to feel the creativity, get in the moment. And that's what I absolutely love about acrylic pours, is you can just be free. And you can see now the banding starting to come together there. The problem is here, it's not level, so it's moving to the left. I think I'm going to add a bit of white. Adding white is a really good neutral, because it breaks up the bands and it lightens the other colours. I love this gold, my favourite, so I'm going to add more of that. So you just let it do its thing for now. Right, let's see if we can move this slightly. It's going to be a little bit difficult because it's if I can transfer this one here. I just need something that will enable me to flow it. There you go. A bit more stable. You just take your time, going in the direction that you want to go in. So here, I like the way that the geode effect is starting to take shape.
Introducing Tide EcoFan.
Is that a new dance music genre?
Not quite. It's home energy technology that's kinder for the planet and your wallet.
And you want it to
like a home EV charger that charges your car.
go all over.
Or a smart thermostat that changes your home temperature intuitively.
Really?
Or even solar panels that turn sunshine into lower bills.
Now there's a bright idea.
You really should have thought of that one. Welcome
Alexa,
to
stop. Just take your time, there's no rush. See, the grey is, the metallic's really overpowering there again. And that's what I was worried about with the bronze, but it seems that I've added probably a little bit too much of the grey. But it's not a problem. I just want to bring that back down now to see if we can get the colours to come more this way. Oh. So you can see it forming there now, which is lovely. You can see the colours. And then here, I don't know if you can see the banding of the white and the gold, which again is going to come through, hopefully. And notice how I'm being quite vigorous with letting it just drop. You don't need to if you don't want to. It all depends on what angle you want to do it, how dramatic you want it to be. But it's to help the flow of the paint. And it helps it take shape in its own way. Okay, so as you can see, that's literally what's been created. It's got some gorgeous geode transitions there. I'm going to leave that to dry and see how it turns out, because once it's dried, again, it takes a totally different shape and composition. The colours change, they get darker or lighter. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that, and I like the colours. I like the fact that the bronze is there, but it's not too dominating. If you was to do this on a bigger scale, it would look absolutely beautiful. So let's leave it to dry and come back and see what the results are. So we've now focused on doing the circle pour, and I'm letting that dry. Now we want to experiment doing a layer pour. I don't know the exact terminology. People call it all different things, but what I know is you get the cup and you layer them in your cups to try and create the geode effect. So let's get started. I'm going to pour in my white into my cup, because I want that to be my first colour. And then you just start layering it up with different colours. I don't know. Okay, let's just blend that in. Making sure it's all over your canvas. So I don't know if you can see there, let me try and get it close up. That's my layered colours, and I'm just going to now pour them onto the canvas or your work surface. And you can take your time, you can twist it, you can do all different designs. A lot of this at the moment seems to be dominated by the gold, but you should be getting other colours coming through, like now the white's coming through. You just weave it around and around. A lot of that white's coming through. You can continue it on. As I mentioned earlier, I'm on a bit of a wonk. So I think with that I might add an additional bronze. And you can just experiment again, just keep pouring on top, pouring into that to continue to create your geode effect. Okay, moment of truth, if I can get it off. You can see the composition there with the different layers. It's dominated quite a lot by white at the moment. So you have to be mindful of the kind of colours that you put in there. But like I said, we're experimenting. This is the whole point of doing this. Before you start any big projects, always make sure that you have a play around with your colours, because they might work together or they might not. Especially when you're working with primary colours, mixing blues and greens and yellows, and they can all blend in and create a totally different tone and colour. See, here we're getting the geode effect now, which is brilliant. You've got the banding, and that's what we're aiming for. Just try and get it off the end there. And then bring it back round. And every time you do this, it's just taking a natural shape. It's different and it's unpredictable, as I mentioned earlier. You can just go whichever way that you wish. Tried to encourage it to flow a bit more. This is what happens sometimes, there's not enough paint on the board. So you have to manipulate it back, and then you might have to do something in the corner to add to your pour. Just letting that move through. You can see the colours there moving down. Okay, I think to add a bit of, it's not really got much grey in there from what I can see. Again, it seems to be dominated by this gold. This precious gold is really taking shape there. Let's add in colours. Let's just go with that. Let that just do its work. And that's just going to help it flow. And push in that grey, but there'll still be some tones of the grey there. So we've pretty much lost the tones of the copper, but that could come through when it starts drying. Not too sure if I like that. I do and I don't. It's got blends of the geodes, the lines there. It almost looks like a marble effect, is what I'd say. Welcome back to part 2. This is where I showcase the results of my different pours that I tried to accomplish on my journey to learning fluid art. Now, if you'd watched the video earlier, you would have seen that I was trying to use different pours and work with colour combinations. So, for example, this was my first pour. And this is where I utilised about 7 different metallic colours with a white matte and I really love the way that it's turned out. I find it fascinating, and although I didn't get the result that I actually wanted, which was predominantly the geode effect, which everyone seems to be doing, if you're able to see up close, it does still have distinguish of the geode, and the way that the colours are contrasting and working with one another, the way that they have flowed and complement each other very well. Originally I was quite apprehensive about this because I thought that the bronze dominated the piece, but as it's dried, it's definitely done itself proud in that sense. It's took a step back and allowed for the other colours to shine through too. So yeah, I think this is my favourite piece from the examples that I've done today, and this is just using the pour circle, the basic pour circle. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. And once again, just to note that when you're doing it on different bases, for example, this is card, just a white card, it's going to absorb a lot of the paints, so you don't get the prominent finish that you want because the colours are not really able to shine through as bright. So with that in mind, I still think it's presented itself quite well. And this is another pour that I done previously, and I really love this because again it's using the same colours, and I'm not quite finished with this yet because I still need to add on my features, and it will be available on my website to buy. But I feel that it's captured again the colours, and it's got some cells in there, and it's got some highlights of the geodes, and the metallics really do work well. But it just shows you the definition that you get when you do it on a canvas piece in comparison to what you get when you're doing it on a piece of card or paper, for example. So yeah, that's that. So let's just get back to showing you the results of the other pour. So this one was based on the circle pour and the dirty pour, using all the colours again. I think it's definitely captured some elements of the geode. I don't know if you can see there the lines. You probably might not be able to, but it definitely does have the different layers there of the whites and the golds that have come through, with a spontaneous spot of silver, which was themed throughout, and you can see highlights of that elsewhere on the piece. This bit here, again, it kind of replicates fire. That's what I feel from when I look at this piece. But again, the technique is good. It's just, I think a lot of it has to do with the actual material that you're pouring onto and getting the consistency right of the pour and the medium. That is paramount, and that's something that I'm still trying to learn. But stick with me, and if you've got any top tips, please feel free to drop them in the comments for me. And whilst you're there, please ensure that you subscribe to my channel and just basically support me. I'd really appreciate that. So stay tuned, and I look forward to catching up with you soon. Bye.